All right, today's just gonna be a heavy posting day. Let's talk about the Golden Globes. I had to actually go view clips from YouTube for Joe Coy's jokes, as I didn't watch the Golden Globes. I saw bits and pieces here and there, and then as more people were complaining, I looked into it, and I think is an excellent opportunity for jump off into something I've talked about before. I've used Jennifer Lawrence. We're gonna use The Rock for this one, but I'll get to that in just a minute. Um, Joe Coy was the safe bet for them. Ricky Gervais set up kind of the standard they didn't want, even though his comedy was by far better and related more to the people. I think that also there was some tension in the crowd that his jokes hit a certain way. He's also a very different class of comedian too. I put him up there with some of the greats like George Carlin in a lot of what he does. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, really? No, I do, because I think he's got some good points that he makes. It's well thought out. Now, they played it safe. I think that they have been upsetting some of the stars that show up there. And so I'm going to reiterate this point to everybody. You don't like movie stars. You like the characters they play. You don't know the movie stars. You don't like them. You get a filtered view of who they are. If you don't know that, that's what there is. And again, I used Jennifer Lawrence before, but I'm going to use The Rock for this because I like a lot of The Rock's performances. I think he's a great action star, and I like what he does in film. But I don't know him. And he is not what he portrays in anything. He is not the advertisements you're saying. He is not the characters in the movies he is. He is not the guy that's picking up In-N-Out and not eating it. You'll get that joke if you watch my earlier videos. He's not that guy. He is somebody who is separated from the people that he portrays on screen. None of these movie stars, none of them know anymore, and some don't know to begin with, what it is like to be down here. What do I mean by down here? I mean middle class or less. They don't know. They don't have that struggle. They don't have those kind of problems. They have problems. It's a different set of problems. I don't hate them for it. I don't, and you shouldn't either. They have a different class of problems. They have other issues. They're not relatable to you. If you got the chance to win a dinner with one of these stars, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a very curated event where you're limited to the number of questions you can ask. It's going to be a very, very controlled environment. It's not going to be free like you think. This is why most people that talk about meetings with stars, it's very short or very awkward because they're not equipped to deal with normal people. If you're not just being a fan and excited to see them and you have actual questions, they're not prepared for those. They need a publicist to help them talk to people because that's what they're filtered through. Would I have questions for The Rock? Absolutely. Are they going to be very deep? Probably not, because I don't have much to ask him. The things that most people want to know end up getting filtered to a publicist, and the publicist ends up getting them put into something to a piece. That's why you see these Wired articles. So if you ever watch the YouTube videos, the Wired Google, asks kind of stuff, that's why they do those. That's how they're getting your questions to a degree to get answered. But you don't know these stars. You don't like them. So the Golden Globes, why was it so awful? Well, Joe Coy was the safe bet. He was able to do jokes that he co-wrote. Some he wrote himself, and others were written for him. And basically, he's like a PR piece for that event. Nobody would get too offended. You could see on the faces during the monologue that some were just like, really? Again? The awards are for them. They're not for you. You didn't get to vote on them. You didn't get to put your input in. Your box office dollars really don't matter in that because people are going to get awards based on what criteria they've set forth. Same with the Oscars and everything else. These award shows aren't for you and me. They put them on knowing people will watch them because people are huge fans, but we've seen the trend going down of people watching these award specials because they're just not for us anymore. They become more impersonal. I did see the Kristen Wiig, Will Ferrell thing, which made no sense whatsoever. I'm not even sure what that was. It was awful, but I love a lot of these stars as far as the people they portray, but I don't know them. I don't know Will Ferrell. I'm sure he's funny. Maybe he's not. A lot of characters that you fall in love with and that you think is the actor or actress, it's the writers. And as I said before in the Jennifer Lawrence video I did, that could be 10, 20, 30 people putting collaborative efforts into making a character for screen. So you are infatuated with a person who doesn't exist except on paper. And beyond that, can't really be created again. So not well anyway. So just keep that in mind. And that's where the disconnect is. Joe Coy is telling jokes like a fan to relate to the audience. That's you and me. The stars are the stars. Those jokes don't relate to them. They don't get them or they don't like them. They're at a different level. It's a completely different level. I was trying to think. I'm bad at writing things, by the way. Jokes anyway. But I was trying to think of a relatable, like if I was rich, a joke I'd make that rich people would laugh at, but then poor people would be like, I don't get it. And it's like, I can't because I'm not in that class of things, so I don't understand. Not saying I condone any of the behaviors there, but it just doesn't make sense. We see the same disconnect with Elon Musk. He tries to present himself as a smart everyman, but he's far from that. No part of that man has anything to do with anybody making under $1 million a year. Like none. It doesn't relate at all. So please keep that in mind. As far as the award shows, they go away. I wouldn't care. It really is just for them. And after getting an Oscar, I don't suddenly go, oh my God, this person won an Oscar. I have to see this movie. I'm more interested in how the film's written and the premise of the film. I don't care. I'm more interested in the director. Like, I will go see a Christopher Nolan movie because I like the movies he makes. But the actors, if I like the characters they played, I'm going to go see films by that they're in. Not because of the fact they won an Oscar or not. I saw the menu because I wanted to see the menu because it looked artfully great. I didn't care who was in it. It didn't matter. I thought it was neat, the casting decisions, but it wasn't a point of who they cast. The premise looked neat. The trailer was well put together. The story was enjoyable for me. I loved it. I love what they did with it. And a brief note, if they had changed how that movie ended in any slight way, it would have ruined the whole premise of that film. I think it was well done. I'm not good at guessing a lot of movies towards the end. That one I kind of did, and I kind of had a want for what had happened. Thought it was great. But anyway, off on that tangent. Yeah, just keep that in mind. You are in love with you're in love with the characters. You're not in love with the actor. The actor would not recognize that character at all. They might be able to act for a bit. And again, if you were to go on like a dinner, if you want a dinner with one of these people, they would be acting. That's what they would be acting. They would be instructed how to act based on things you've said, posts you've made. They would scrape any social media you have to get information about you so they can tell the actor how to present themselves. They will have key information. They will probably bring up talking points. I can guess that. If you are in Hollywood and you've done one of these and you have a burner account on here, feel free to leave comments. Or if you just want to flat out say it, or if you know about this, I'm pretty sure that's what they do is they scrape social media, curate what to say, and then they say it to you to get you started in conversation. People are fairly easy. If you are a type of person that is somewhat talkative, you can get people to open up if you say the right things, and they will. They'll open up and say the right things to you. They'll say things to you that they wouldn't say to anybody else. I've encountered it a few times in my life. So anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on this? What do you think about the Golden Globes? Is there a star that you like, but you know they are not actually like that? Are you aware of the fact that, you know, you're in love with the written character that's being performed and not the actual actor/actress? Because I could list off all day people I find aesthetically pleasing that are just gorgeous, men and women in Hollywood, that I would love to be near. But I know as soon as they started talking, I probably would not enjoy their company, or it'd be acted and I'd feel lied to. So anyway, guys, trying to put 2 more videos out today. I've got tons of drafts made, more content's coming, but yeah,